Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this evening's severe weather update. So, we are looking at the likelihood of a severe weather outbreak tomorrow across portions of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana. But before we get to tomorrow's threat, we have a severe weather threat for this evening across the eastern Texas panhandle, west central Oklahoma, and south central Kansas. A slight risk in the yellow and a marginal risk in the dark green. Looking at this evening's tornado threat, there is a 2% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location across the eastern Texas panhandle, west central Oklahoma, and south central Kansas this evening in the green shaded area, and this includes Woodward, Oklahoma. This evening's damaging wind risk is at 15% within 25 miles of a location in the yellow shaded area, and a 5% chance in the brown shaded area, and the hail risk this evening is much of the same, with a 15% chance of quarter-sized hail within 25 miles of a location this evening in the yellow area, and a 5% chance in the brown area this evening. But tomorrow is where the big, substantial severe weather threat and likely tornado outbreak is going to be occurring, where the Storm Prediction Center has issued a broad area of an enhanced risk of severe weather from south central Texas across north, northeast, and east Texas to northwestern Louisiana to southwestern Arkansas to southeastern Oklahoma in the orange, a slight risk covering a huge area in the yellow, and a marginal risk covering an even larger area in the dark green. Now let's get to the tornado threat because this is particularly concerning to me. We have a 10% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location in this yellow shade area, extending from Austin through Waco through Dallas, through Shreveport, through Lufkin, through Bryan College Station, across areas of southeastern Oklahoma, Shreveport, and western Arkansas. We have a 5% tornado risk in the brown area and a 2% tornado risk in the green area. And I'm really concerned about this hatched area because we have a 10% chance of seeing strong to violent EF2 to EF5 tornadoes within 25 miles of a location tomorrow across I-35 across central and northeast Texas and southeastern Oklahoma. So really, make sure that you are getting prepared for a tornado outbreak if you live across the yellow and especially hatched areas tomorrow. And the damaging wind threat is going to be equally as significant, with a 30% chance of damaging straight line winds across this red shade area tomorrow, a 15% chance in the yellow, and a 5% chance in the brown. And then looking at the hail threat is thankfully going to be a bit lower than the tornado and wind threat, with a 15% hail risk in the yellow and a 5% hail risk in the brown. Now let's get to the high resolution computer models to time these storms out. Beginning this evening around 12 a.m. Central Daylight Time Friday, we're going to see isolated to scattered severe storms develop across the eastern Texas Panhandle, southern Kansas, and western Oklahoma. And as we go through the overnight, the HRRR model keeps most of the storms across Kansas and Oklahoma. And as we head into tomorrow morning, pay very close attention to all these showers that are developing across central and north Texas and Oklahoma. These are going to be the seeds for the outbreak tomorrow, the likely outbreak. As we go into 2 o'clock Central Daylight Time tomorrow afternoon, we are going to start to see these storms rapidly fire from Waco through Dallas-Fort Worth, through Sherman, through southeast Oklahoma. And as we go into about 3 and 4 o'clock, we are going to be seeing a massive cluster of supercells extending from Temple through Waco through Dallas-Fort Worth up towards southeastern Oklahoma. Many discrete supercells are evident in the HRRR model. And then we could be really having a big tornado threat through 5 through 6 p.m., even through 7 p.m. before the storms start to become linearized. And then we're going to transition to a damaging wind threat by around 8 p.m. tomorrow evening across eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas, and northeast Texas. But the southern end of the line, are still going to be producing tornadic supercells through about 10, even 11 p.m. across northeast Texas, northwest Louisiana, and southwestern Arkansas. And a secondary squall line is going to form between Dallas and Austin around 8 and 9 p.m. and start to move east across Texas, possibly producing another round of damaging winds across areas such as Waco, Tyler, towards Sulphur Springs, towards Texarkana, and then into tomorrow, or into overnight tonight, or overnight Friday night, the storms are going to rapidly push east across Arkansas and Louisiana with a widespread damaging wind threat. And likely, and thankfully, the storms are going to weaken by Saturday as they move into areas of the Tennessee Valley, Mississippi, and even Alabama. Now I'm going to show you something new on this channel called the Significant Tornado Parameter. And this is basically a composite of all of the ingredients in the atmosphere. You count for CAPE, wind shear, and dew point. And as we go into tomorrow around 12 o'clock noon, 12 o'clock p.m. Friday, we start to see our tornado parameter light up a little bit with values of 2 to 3 from Austin through Waco through Dallas. And then as we head into the afternoon, around 4 or 5 o'clock, across northeast Texas, we start seeing these oranges and these reds. These indicate tornado parameters of between 3 and 5, which are pretty substantial, especially considering we are in November. And then the HRRR model, as we go into 6, 7, 8 p.m., we're starting to see significant tornado parameters up in the 6 to 7 range across northeast Texas and across north central Texas, indicating we could be seeing, we're going to be seeing a high risk or a substantial risk of tornadoes across these areas around 6 to 7, even 8 o'clock. The significant tornado parameter is really, really high across south, central, and eastern Texas. And then eventually, as we go into the overnight, by around 10 p.m., we'll see it move across east Texas and then dissipate as we go towards the overnight around 1 or 2 a.m. Central Daylight Time. The tornado threat is really going to diminish. And now looking at another model, looking at the NAM-NEST, timing this out, this evening we're going to be seeing isolated storms across Kansas and Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle. And then as we go into tomorrow, this is 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon Central Daylight Time. We're going to be seeing a lot of showers and isolated storms begin to pop up ahead of the cold front all across Texas and Oklahoma. And going into 4, 5, and 6 o'clock, the NAM-NEST wants to form a big squall line extending from Austin up I-35 through Dallas into Oklahoma City, or east of Oklahoma City by 5 o'clock, and then quickly moves the squall line eastward between 6 and 10 o'clock across east, northeast, and southeast Texas, and across Arkansas and Louisiana between around 1 through 3 a.m. Central Time, before weakening across Mississippi and Tennessee. So if this scenario pans out, the tornado threat will be lower, as we will not be seeing a lot of discrete supercells. However, the NAM-NEST is linear biased, so this model has been known to struggle in initiating supercellular development. So still we're going to be seeing a tornado threat. Even in this scenario, we're going to be likely seeing QLCS tornadoes up and down this line. Now looking at the significant tornado parameter for the NAM-NEST model tomorrow, This model is even uh, more concerning on the significant tornado parameter front, with already by around 4 o'clock, we're seeing significant tornado parameter values of 3 to 5 across central North Texas. And then as we go into about 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, Central Daylight Time, the significant tornado parameters all across East Texas are going to be very high from 3 to 6. And then as we go into around 7 p.m. Saturday evening, right across the Tyler Longview area, the NamNest model is putting a significant tornado parameter values up to 7, indicating a very high tornado threat. And then once again, as we go into around 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., the tornado threat will push towards far east Texas into Louisiana and slowly fade overnight. Now, I'm going to show you something else new in this video. I'm going to be showing you what's called a sounding or a skew T. So we're going to be finding this area where it says 7, and we're going to be clicking on it to show you a hodograph. There we go, 6.9, that's close enough. Well, unfortunately, it seems to be having trouble loading. Let me try again. Wait, I think it went. There we go. Now, looking at this hodograph, anytime you see a curved hodograph, there is a favorable environment for tornadoes. And the more curved and larger it is, the higher the threat. So we are seeing optimal hodographs for tornado development across northeast Texas tomorrow. And we have what's called a PDS tornado hazard type, which stands for particularly dangerous situation tornado, which means atmospheric conditions are conducive for PDS tornadoes, EF2 or stronger, as the outlook suggested. And then looking at what's called storm relative helicity, when we look for tornadoes, we want to look at the surface to 1 kilometer storm relative helicity. And this is at 450. Now for the optimal range for storm relative helicity is anywhere from 2 to 300. When you start getting up to 450 in the surface to 1 kilometer, that means that the atmosphere is primed for tornadic development. So the atmosphere, unfortunately, is looking very, very conducive for not only tornadoes, but strong tornadoes across northeast Texas. And then looking at another sounding a little bit south of the one I just took, similar curved hodograph, we got the PDS tornado signature, and we got helicity of 444 meters squared per second squared, also off the charts in terms of surface to 1 kilometer helicity. So the moral of the story is we are likely going to be seeing a tornado outbreak across northeast Texas and southeastern Oklahoma into far western Arkansas and northwest Louisiana tomorrow. So make sure you are preparing for these tornadoes tomorrow across these areas. Make sure you have a way to get notified, a NOAA weather radio, maybe on your phone, to keep you guys safe from this tornado outbreak that's going to be happening tomorrow. So thanks for watching this evening's severe weather update. Stay safe and have a wonderful evening, my friends.